Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt Diazbo coming at you with another album review. Thanks for coming on by. If you just discovered me, thanks for finding me and checking me out. Today, we're checking out the latest album from the band Static X called Project Regeneration Volume 2. Yeah. Now, a little background on this band is Static X comes out from, I think, somewhere in California. I know back in the day, the main guitarist, Wayne Static, moved from, I think, Detroit down to California, formed this band called Static. Apparently, there were some legal issues and changed the name to Static X. They're one of the forerunners of nu metal, but also their take on nu metal was more of a industrial sound and everything. And they had a bunch of albums coming out. I think they have released about 7 albums altogether, 7, 8, high number. This is their second album without their main guitarist and vocalist Wayne Static, who passed away in the year, I want to say, 2017. And so a lot of the old original members came back after I left and started the band up in a weird way again. People have been very split about it, whether it's like a cash grab or not. I think most people are just excited to still have music from Static X around. And I think they've done a pretty good job of tastefully respecting his memory and all that stuff. But that's for a different video, a different time and everything. This is, I think, still leftover material that's Wayne had recorded, and they were still like making some songs out of it and everything. So they had Project Regeneration Volume 1 like in 2022 or 2023, and this is 2022, and this is the second part of that project and everything. So with that intro out the way, let's get into this review. The start of the song has a little bit of like a slow and creepy start and everything, and then we get into some like high-pitched industrial style guitar riffs. The drums are overall pretty simple, and they're doing some cool little like tapping on the hi-hats. I like the percussions on this song. The vocals sound weirdly mixed, like they're not all there, I feel. The bass is really booming. It's got a really strong feel to it. And then they got some weird like synths going on in the background that I'm not too sure if I enjoy or not. Overall, it feels like a song that's like hollow and kind of incomplete. It's kind of there, but just kind of meh. Riffs from the bass and the guitar are very deep and have a heavy sound to it on this track. The riffs also have like a creepy sound to it that I like. Again, the vocals seem a little bit too buried and everything. The riffs during the chorus and everything aren't too bad. And when he's saying like thread the needle a little bit in the song, it sounds pretty cool. Drums are keeping the rhythm pretty well, but they're not overly amazing. Again, this is kind of like just like a okay song. As this album goes along, I feel like there's some kind of like empty space in the songs and everything, and I can't put my finger on it. But I will say the vocals sound cooler and clearer here on this track. Best so far, I think. And also they use some like cool little chimes, I think, that are reminiscent of their old song Cold from their like second album Machine. I think there's some nice callbacks on this song. Definitely reusing samples as the song progresses along and everything. And the lyrics, they're not too bad. They're kind of interesting. The riffs sound really, really dense here, and I like the snappiness of the drums here. It sounds really good overall. The chorus has a nice dark feel to it, and the verses are pretty simple, but kind of boring. But the chorus is really good. But I will say during the verses of the song, it sounds very Static X, like that signature style that they're known for. The guitars have a really good groove to it and everything, and the vocals, they don't sound half bad. This is like the first good song, I think. The lyrics on this track are a little iffy, I think, a little bit rough to the Japanese people and everything. I think he just wanted to use these words because they all rhyme or something, but lyrically, I'm not a too big fan of this song. But I will say the riffs are really cool here, and there's a really, really deep industrial sound that sounds dope. And overall, I think this is like the best song so far up until this point. So I want to play a clip of Kamikaze for you. It just sounds so much like Static X. Good industrial sound. Bass and the guitars have a really chunky feel to it, just overall really heavy. And again, the drums, really simple, but pretty snappy and everything. And I really like the vocals here. I feel like they're really channeling that Wayne Static voices, especially when they're doing the oh and stuff. I can't do it that well, but overall, it's a really fun and heavy song with a pretty memorable chorus, I think. So here's a clip of No Hope. Ooh, just they really get into a groove here. Now, this song, not one of my favorites and everything, but I will say I do like that they go with some strong cyberpunk vibes with the samples. And again, the bass and the guitar sound really heavy here when they're being played. But I will say the chorus isn't that strong. And besides the guitars and everything, it just doesn't really sound that great, I think. And I think another thing that kills it, it feels a little bit long and everything. So here's a clip of Take Control. It feels like someone trying to do a Static X song, but not in a very good way. The beginning of the song has a very industrial vibe to it. They really lean into it on this song. The vocals sound really good here, super clear. Like you can really hear him singing. It sounds good. A lot of weird samples in the background, but it adds a lot to the song, I think. And overall, the riffs are really good here. I really like how the song has like an upbeat kind of sounding riff. With a little bit of like industrialness to it and everything. It really makes the song feel really groovy, and I like that. The drums got some flair to it. They're being played quite dynamically here and have some interesting parts. The midway break in the song and everything has like a techno background music playing and everything, and it sounds pretty cool. Overall, I think it's one of the best tracks on the album, I think. Like the name of the song says, this is a very dark song and everything. More of the dark Static X style and everything, and it's done pretty well here, especially with the drums. They have a really good time to show off their skills and everything, and it sounds really good. And the riffs, just more of that industrial heaviness that sounds good. Yep, this song is the Ostago brand for sure, with Static X, with all the samples and the synths in the background. And I think it's pretty cool that they borrowed a lot of old samples from old songs and everything, and kind of stitched it all together. And you think that all that being meshed together would sound pretty bad, but they're able to pull it off pretty well. The bass sounds really thick and groovy here. Drums, hella snappy and everything. It's a good contender for one of the best Ostago songs that Static X has made. The guitar work here is a little weird and wonky. I'm not a big fan of it and everything. The bass has some deep and heavy vibes to it that sounds really cool. There's like a slow creepiness in this song that sounds pretty dope. But I will say the vocals sound a little bit overproduced at times. But at times he does sound like Jonathan Davis from Korn. So there's some interesting parts here and everything. But overall, it just feels like a really old Korn song that's just kind of like okay. These last few songs are kind of bonus tracks and everything, so they're not really. I think they're more fun songs than anything, because this one has more of like a J-rock production. The vocals sound really clear, but overall the guitars sound really weird, and it doesn't really feel like a Static X song. The drums have a good punch to it. But like I said, it's not really a Static X song. I think like a bonus song, it's just there for fun. Yeah. Simply good vocals, groovy riffs, decent drumming. It's just a fun song. It's a bonus track. So I think the name of this album really summarizes it pretty well. Project? Yes, it's a project from the band. Regeneration? Not so much, I think. Volume 2? Absolutely, because there's a lot of material here. It's 14 tracks. It's a very dense album and everything. And I would say most of the tracks and most of the work here is just kind of like okay to like, there's like some good tracks, but it's a very middle of the ground kind of music and everything. A lot of the songs feel kind of incomplete. And I feel like, I hate saying it, but I feel like there's a certain mojo, a certain magic that's kind of missing. Sometimes they can capture that Static X vibe with some interesting riffs, quirky lyrics, and heavy industrial elements. I would say out of the whole 14 tracks, 3, maybe 4 songs capture that Static X vibe, while the rest are kind of like a good 5, 6 tracks are kind of like, yeah, they're okay. And then the rest are just kind of like, they need more work, and they're just kind of feeling incomplete and not well like made, I think. Um, but I don't know how I feel about it, but I guess I say they sample a lot of their older material, and it kind of feels like nostalgia bait, but they do it pretty tastefully, and I don't think they do it that often to where they just try to make you like think about their older stuff. It's tied in pretty well in it, I think. But overall, nothing feels too new or too exciting. It's just a pretty good album overall. Um, I think because it's still using old material that Wayne had left behind or had the band hadn't used yet. So I feel like they're still just getting through a lot of that old material before they even think of writing new material. So I think on with that in mind and everything, it's not that bad and everything. Especially since the production on a lot of these tracks, they're not that bad and anything. They sound decent and everything. So I would say there's some solid riffs, some good bass lines, some good vocals here and there, and overall it's just kind of like okay for the most part. I won't be mad if it comes on, but I don't think it would be the first Static X album I want to put on. Let's just say that. So with that being said, this album from Static X, I would give it a light to okay 7 out of 10. Some good ideas here, some fun stuff, but overall, not their best work. So links down below, check them out. I'm pretty sure if you know Static X, you already know. But if you don't know, check them out down below. I'm Matt from Diaz. Well, thanks for checking out this review and everything. And until next time, guys, bye.